Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. Sorry it's been so long, about 2 weeks now since I last uploaded my anniversary video. So today I'm going to be talking about a sitcom called Outnumbered versus My Family. These two sitcoms are similar in many ways, and I'm going to be pointing out the similarities and differences and deciding which one is like my favourite comedy, which one I prefer watching, and all that kind of stuff. But I do love watching both of the sitcoms anyway. I'm not going to determine which one's better or whatever you want to say, because they're both very good in their own right, and people have different opinions, so I respect your opinion. So yeah, I'm just going to be talking about basically all of that. So yeah, let's start. I think the best place to probably start with this comparison would probably be setup and the way the whole kind of stories kind of go, and also the way the sets are, the way the whole TV show looks as a whole. Let's break it down a bit. So, My Family, you can tell it's kind of fake, you can tell it's a sitcom, you can just tell it's the way it's filmed and shot, you can just tell that it's not real. Where with Outnumbered, you can tell that it's like realistic. It looks more realistic. It feels more normal, more like kind of realistically. Whereas My Family's a bit, like a proper sitcom. Not to say that Outnumbered isn't a proper sitcom. It is a proper sitcom, but I mean, it's the way it's shot, the direction, camera angles, and everything. It kind of looks more realistic. But then again, this did come after My Family anyway. So that's what I kind of have to say on that. But My Family setup and the design and everything, I think, is very good and very comedy-ish of the era anyway. I've got to give it as that time. And also, I think that it's really amazing anyway, the way the comedy's writing as well. We'll move on to writing in a bit, but that's what I might just say that. Let's move on to another section after, because I talked about setup and design and the feel of the TV show as a whole. Let's move on to what I would like to call just the character section of this. So let's start off with the children. That's probably a good place to start. So let's just compare the two oldest children first. We have Jake and we have Nick. Well, Nick and Jake are very different people, like very different people. Ideally, because they're nothing like each other whatsoever. Jake is more of like I would say, more cooler and also like a better person, I suppose, that in a way. And as Nick, played by Chris Marshall, he's more, I would say, more kind of weird and eccentric, and so Nick's a bit out there, a bit eccentric, and ideally in series 1, 2, and like up to about series 5, he's very like a crazy kind of person. By the way, just Nick's from My Family and Jake was from Outnumbered. I'm doing the comparisons here. That's what I thought I might just say that there. But so basically, Nick's very eccentric, very different, and very unusual, and tries to start up businesses, but they all go wrong. So that's kind of Nick in a nutshell, really. Useless layabout, as Ben would call him. So that's kind of what I've got to say on him particularly. Let's move on to Jake, and let's do a little section on him. So Jake is very, very like good character. I really think that he's very much, and he really expresses what a teenage boy would probably be like, a much more cooler one, which I really think is a very highlighted thing, that I think he's really good. He's a really good character. I think he's really cool and everything, much more cooler and much more probably tougher than most other people. That's what I think about Jake. I think he's a better kind of character. He also has more brain cells than Nick, what I mean most people in these shows do. That's what I have to say about that, really. So that's comparing the two oldest children. Let's move on to the middle child. Let's just do a comparison to the middle children. So the middle children from My Family, we have Janie, And from Outnumbered, we have Ben. So let's think about Ben from Outnumbered. Very, very unusual person. I gotta give him that to be saying anything. I can't remember the actor's name, but he does an absolutely amazing job. He kills it in the role because most of his stuff was improvised. He just came out with random stuff, which I mean, kind of worked for Ben as a character because Ben is probably quite he's quite mad and a bit strange. Give it that. There's a point. Comes out with random stuff, just randomly talks about random stuff, and yeah. What a cool character, honestly. I think he's an amazing character. Probably one of my favourite characters, I mean, out of any TV show, really. I mean, I think he's a really great character. He kind of reminds me a bit of Nick, who we were talking about earlier. They're both a bit strange, a bit weird, and yeah, that's what I kind of have to say on Ben, particularly as a whole. But let's move on to Janie. So, Janie is also the middle child, and she is very, what I have to say was very, a bit kind of showy offy, a bit I want everything, you know, a bit like I'm not respected. That's kind of how Janie would be. Yeah, she's a very like moody, stroppy teenager, and yeah, that's what I kind of have to say on her. She's pretty much like those teenagers who are a bit, you know, moody, shoppy, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, a bit of hard work, I'd probably say, for her. Her parents have got to give them that. But she's a good character. I think she's very good as well. Obviously, the family setup wouldn't be the same without her, obviously, you know, because that would be different. I've also got to say that yeah, she's a good character. I've got to give her a thing. But something I have to say here is a 21-year-old playing someone who's 16 doesn't really work in any form of media. I'm sorry to say that, BBC, but that's just what I have to say. Someone playing a 16-year-old who's 21 doesn't really work. I mean, it's okay if they're playing like an 18, 19-year-old like Nick was playing an 18, 19-year-old when he's like in his like mid-20s. I think that's fine. But I mean, having someone in like 21 playing 16 doesn't really work, BBC. That's what I've got to say there. So, let's swiftly move on to another two characters that I think, well, they're both the youngest. Let's compare Karen from Outnumbered to Michael from My Family. Now, I really, really like both of these characters. Start off with Karen. Karen is very, what I would just say, kind of weird and strange, but she wants to know everything. It's almost like she swallowed a book or swallowed a dictionary. She just wants to know everything. She wants to discover everything. You know, just do everything, which I find is very kind of good in a way. You know, can do attitude, all that kind of stuff, and all that kind of stuff. You know, yeah. So I don't really have that much opinions on particularly Karen as a whole, but I think she's quite strange as well. The same as obviously Ben from Outnumbered. Yes, that's what I think about her. But let's move on to Michael from My Family. Let's do the versus bit there. I keep having to say that because get a bit confusing. So Michael from My Family, I've got to say, very intelligent child. Yeah, he's very, very intelligent, and he apparently also in My Family. Michael could forge his dad's signature from the age of 8, or something like that. That's something that he said, and he's always a very strange child anyway. But I mean, he's very intelligent. Honestly, surprised he didn't go to Oxford or Cambridge or something. But I mean, very intelligent kid, very bright, and Bernadette, he is an absolutely amazing character. Got given benefit of the doubt and got to say that he's up there in like one of the favourite characters. Certainly, I think absolutely brilliant. He's really great, and I feel like he had more time to breathe after Nick went, because more character development came into Michael. Because I suppose, you know, if you lost Nick, Chris Marshall's gone off and become massive film star. obviously Nick Harper left the series, but Michael had more room to fill out and do more stuff, which kind of came in more useful. So more plot stories about Michael, I think, really worked and really helped Michael's character develop and grow, and I think that was absolutely amazing, and that's what I've got to say there. So that's it for the children. Let's move on to the adults. Now, I'm going to do these together because I think that I just put these two together, put these two couples together. So, from Outnumbered, we have Ben and Sue. No, not Ben and Sue. Pete and Sue. I'm getting confused. So, from Outnumbered, we have Pete and Sue. Pete and Sue, I've got to say, they're just an average kind of couple. They're a bit, obviously worried about the children all the time, a bit, overprotecting sometimes all the time. And of course, Pete's quite chilled and doesn't say, "Oh, don't worry," that kind of stuff about them. Yeah. So and also Sue, I'd probably say, is a bit of a kind of control freak-ish kind of character. She wants to kind of take control of nearly everything, which I think you'll see some similarities as I talk about Susan from my family. Similar names. Bit weird. Don't matter. That's just what I got to say there. But yeah. So they are kind of very similar characters in a way that I just think that Pete and Sue are really great characters. I really like how sometimes they yeah. So Pete and Sue, I've got to say, are a very typical couple, and yeah, I think they kind of really together, like, work really well together. I find them very funny as a duo together, and I also find their like family relations really like funny and awkward and kind of thing. I really do like how it's more like kind of realistic tones and everything. I think it's very good in that way. And yeah, that's what I kind of think there for them couples. Now let's move on to Ben and Susan. Well, another Ben. This is exactly what I mean. And then like Sue, Susan, Ben gets a little bit weird there, specifically. But so Ben is a very angry man who's also a dentist. I forgot to mention that Pete is a history teacher, and he's very kind of sometimes get a bit angry and like people like mock his teaching style and things like that. So kind of have to say about Pete. But Ben, a dentist who doesn't like his job, hates everyone, and realistically just doesn't like anyone, because everyone he meets, he literally just does not like them, whatever. Like, he thinks they are just not great at all. He's always wanted Nick to move out. He doesn't stand. He hates children, basically. And yeah, I've got to say that's the complete difference, because they're a complete contrast, because you have someone who like Pete more cares, I suppose, rather than Ben doesn't really care. He's kind of a bit more miserable, and he's played by Robert Lindsay, who's an absolutely amazing actor, and also Pete's played by Hugh Dennis, and he's brilliant as well. Of course, yes, I kind of have to say about Ben, he's really an angry character, but likeable too, because he's so angry that he's likeable. He's like not the most happiest or cheerful people, but I really think that he's a great character, and that's what I think there. So let's move on swiftly to Susan, the last person here. I'm just going to do a little comparison to Sue and do the similarities of the two mothers. So yeah. So Susan, played by Zoe Wanamaker, I think that she's absolutely amazing. Like, I really do like how she's like controlling but caring. Yeah, controlling, caring, and a bit of control freak, really. She wants to be in control of everything. She wants to be like the master puppeteer of everything. She wants to see over everything. She's kind of a bit like Sue from Outnumbered. There are the similarities there. I mean, there are quite a lot. but they are different in many other ways. Is like the fact is their jobs are quite different, because like obviously Susan is a tour guide slash gallery person who works at galleries or whatever, and Sue works in this IT office room. I can't remember what it's called now, but it's a really good thing. Anyway, I think that their jobs are great, and also I do like how they interact with the family, like if they go places, and yeah, I kind of think that, you know, the more realistic tone kind of works for Outnumbered, and My Family, that tone there really works as well. That's what I kind of have to say about the overall family. Let's move on to the overall runtime and everything like that. So an episode of both of these comedies would run around 30 minutes, so they're really good to watch. You can just stick them on the background and you just laugh away. I really like the comedy in it as well. Yeah, so runtime is around 30 minutes. Let's move on to episodes. Episodes are really great. All of the episodes are really great. They always have like a really good story going through them. Both sitcoms, both really well. Like, I mean, they just like really work together. Like when Auntie Angela from Outnumbered like comes, and she basically she comes back to their house, and they're actually on the run from like some really evil people. I really remember that episode. It was the two-part, I think, two-parter, and it was really really good. One of the best episodes ever. Like, I mean, I really think that's great, and I really like that episode. I think that's my favourite Outnumbered episode. I think so, yeah. And then also my favourite episode from My Family was definitely 6 Feet Under, which was really great, putting all the characters like underneath, like, well, not 6 feet under, but like in the tube, and like having all the characters interact. Really thought that was really good. I really love that episode. You should give it a watch, because I think you can get these on Amazon Prime, both of these comedies. And also, I believe, yeah, My Family is still on BBC iPlayer, so check it out. It's up there until April, so I think you should just go there now and watch it. Because they took Outnumbered off. I don't know why, because that would have done really well. But it's on Amazon Prime and Netflix, I think. So yeah, just watch away. But now let's kind of come to the conclusion here. So Outnumbered had 5 series. My Family had 11, yeah, I'm correct, 11, and if you look at the time span of how long they ran for, so Outnumbered ran from 2007 to 2016, and My Family ran from 2000 to 2011, so that's quite a long time, honestly, to have a sitcom together. But now I'm here to judge the final 2 minutes of the video. I'm going to be now saying which I think is the better comedy. Now, I've got to say the better comedy in my eyes is My Family, because it's a really great comedy. I like how all the characters interact. They work really well together, and also it feels more like a comedy rather than it being more like a documentary improvisation. I think I prefer My Family. It like works well as a comedy. All the characters are very likable. So not to say that characters in Outnumbered are unlikable. I've got to say in My Family they're really likable, and all the characters are really great, and that's why I love them. I think they're amazing. That's kind of what I have to say there. And yeah, that's the end of the video. So please remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and get your notification bell to get notified that you never miss a video. And I'll see you in another video soon enough.